River Radio Network. This program is rated for all audiences.
Hash Eggs and Football is sponsored by CrookedRiverRadio.com. Crooked River Radio is an internet radio station that is live 24/7 playing top 40 hits from the 60s through the 80s. You can find us on Live 365, Simple Radio, Roku, Radio Garden, and even Alexa, as well as our website. Come on and join us on the Crooked River.
Welcome to Hash, Eggs, and Football, where we talk about this week's games as Monday morning armchair quarterbacks. Here's your hosts Erik, Nannarone, and Pat Morrow.
Good evening. Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
I forgot to unmute you, so you didn't hear the music. We started.
Okay.
Evening, everybody. Go ahead.
What an amazing start. You know, but that's the beauty of live radio when the producer doesn't unmute the.
Well, crap happens.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for how I feel about that Browns game last night, I probably wouldn't be here right now. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of under the weather with this cold and that. But and you know what kind of a day I've had.
Oh yeah, exactly.
We'll do it though. We'll be troopers. We'll muscle through it.
As we've as Pat just mentioned, the Browns game from yesterday, that's going to be a big topic. This is Hashtags in Football. I didn't get to do my usual intro because, anyway.
Well, we can start over if you want. I can redo the intro.
Okay, let's do it.
Oh, Erik, what are we going to do with you? All right, folks, hang loose a minute. Take two. Ready? Take two.
Yes.
Please enjoy this feature presentation of the Crooked River Radio Network. This program is rated for all audiences.
Hash Eggs and Football is sponsored by CrookedRiverRadio.com. Crooked River Radio is an internet radio station that is live 24/7 playing top 40 hits from the 60s through the 80s. You can find us on Live 365, Simple Radio, Roku, Radio Garden, and even Alexa, as well as our website. Come on and join us on the Crooked River.
Welcome to Hash, Eggs, and Football, where we talk about this week's games as Monday morning armchair quarterbacks. Here's your hosts Erik, Nannarone, and Pat Morrow.
Anything to make you happy.
Hello and welcome to Hash, Eggs, and Football. I'm Erik.
And I'm Pat. We're both Browns fans.
Yes, two angry Browns fans because they won. But just because they won doesn't give us a reason not to be angry. There's many reasons to be angry after that game, plus the players'
attitude,
and then another player's wife getting involved. If you didn't see, Wyatt Teller's wife retweeting this stuff Jed Wills said, which we'll get into. But first, before that, for those who listen a lot, you know I've been kind of on Ohio State for their defense and the lack of defense they play and how they need to change their coordinators and coaches and all that. Well, they did. And they got a really big name D coordinator by the name of Jim Knowles, and he runs the third-ranked defense in all of the country right now in college football in Oklahoma State. And I guess I was told that he might be bringing some of his lower position coach assistants with him, which those guys were respectively top at their positions that they coach in the country. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that, because they need help, and it sounds like he's not going to be coaching the bowl game that Oklahoma State is in, which is good for Ohio State, because he could just start watching tape and picking apart the issues with this defense, because there's many of them.
Well, you just better hope that Ryan Day decides to stay here, or that may that all may go to naught. If you get a new coach, a new head coach in there, he's liable to replace all the defensive and offensive coordinators.
But I don't think the dude was one of the top coordinators in the country. I don't think a new coach would be like, okay, well, I'm new, I'm gonna overhaul everything with a guy who has a resume that good. Unless he left to be a head coach somewhere, which I don't see that happening, but it could. Or I could see them even maybe giving him the head coach if Ryan Day leaves. The head coaching position if Ryan Day leaves. Because he's been a head coach before. So
yeah, well, that's a possibility. There was something that happened in the high school coaching similar to that guy that Kyle.
Chuck Kyle announces retirement after the 22.
Right, and did you hear season. What they're doing with that situation?
No.
They're going to take. He's got a really good defensive coordinator there, and he's going to take over the head coaching job. But, and a mighty big but there, he's going to act as assistant head coach for the for the 22 season. And then as soon as Kyle steps down, he's going to take he'll take over the head coaching role. They'll bring in a new D coordinator, and that should keep the continuity and everything there. That was an interesting. I heard that story this afternoon as I was watching some of the sports stuff. It's a pretty interesting story. That guy has 54 years of coaching. He's been with that school for 54 years.
That doesn't even happen usually in the high school level.
And he installed that that whole system there. And it's going to be a shame to see him, finally leave. There's probably a lot of coaches in other places that are saying, "Oh my God, it's about time." But as far as when you got a legacy like that, it's nice to see that there's going to be a chance of it staying together.
And I don't know if you know what outlet originally reported it or not.
I don't know.
But it was WKYC Channel 3, ironically, where his daughter is the lead anchor of the morning news.
That would make a little bit of sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So she kind of probably leaked it out to Jim Donovan, I think, voice of the Browns, who's also the sports.
I think now that you say that, I think I read something about him being the one to break it to the public, so they probably just gave it to him. But as far as what we were talking about with the defense and with the defenses in that coming to Ohio State. I think, like I said, I just hope that they don't decide to that Day doesn't decide to leave, because
That's the wild card in this whole thing is Chicago. What way will they go? Matt Nagy's gone. They haven't fired him yet, but it's inevitable that he's gone.
Yeah.
So are they going to try to bring Ryan Day there, or what?
Maybe they're going to bring Urban back. He's going to need a job by the end of the season.
Oh, well, we were going to get to him. I don't know if you read that article I sent you, but first, before we get to him, did you see what Marcus Freeman, I think that's his name, the new coach, former linebacker for Ohio State, new coach of Notre Dame, said that he couldn't make a mistake a second time because when he was being recruited by Notre Dame and Ohio State. Well, he was saying if Ohio State's job was open and Notre Dame's job was open, that he couldn't make the mistake a second time of choosing Ohio State over Notre Dame. So in essence, he was saying that not going to Notre Dame and playing back in the day was a mistake.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, I think that's a little too far. Like, I get he's the coach of Notre Dame now, but come on, like, you don't have to bash the other team, because that's kind of a slight jab at Jim Tressel, saying it was a mistake to go play there.
Yeah, that I don't know if you could. You know, there's almost as much politics in this stuff as there is anywhere else, and it's and when you actually, especially in the coaching roles, you're always playing politics in there. You're trying to keep your players happy. You're trying to keep you're going and recruiting and trying to give your recruits the best thing you can without breaking the budget of your program and everything like that. And you're finagling all the time. Anyway, the other thing that I think
Urban Meyer story. Before we get to Browns, did you read that? I think I sent you the Pro Football Talk NBC Sports.
I know
story.
he's been arguing with players.
Calling his assistants failures and losers. You know, that's gonna get him another job somewhere else, definitely. Once he gets fired.
I know one college that would take him in a heartbeat, and there's rumors that he may be going there if he loses this, and that's Carolina. Carolina's looking for a coach, and Urban Meyer fits the bill. And I'll bet I'd put dollars to donuts that if he ends up losing this thing with Jacksonville, I'll put money he goes there.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking NFL jobs.
If he gets fired, he's not gonna have an NFL job.
No, his personality does not work. His controlling, possibly even manipulating personality doesn't work. Those college level guys, they can get controlled and possibly manipulated. Pro guys, they'll just laugh in your face. And that's what they're doing to him. Those players don't take him seriously.
As does not his coaching staff. And that, you know, he's losing the locker room there. I don't think he's going to be there another year.
He lost the locker room a long time ago.
I don't think he's going to be. I don't see him being there another year.
But well, since we're talking about coaches and coordinators, yeah, the Browns won, but I was not impressed by that defense to give up 13 points in the fourth quarter and almost blow that game. Joe Woods should still be on the hot seat and a step closer to being fired because that defense played like garbage.
Well, you know what's coming.
Yeah.
Erik, what are we going to do with you? Always blaming the defense and nothing else.
Well, okay.
If
now,
the offense would have done their job and scored a point after halftime, that would have been a completely different game. They did nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got to tell you, I was telling my wife this earlier. It always seems like it's only in Cleveland. Only in Cleveland can you win a game and feel like you haven't won a game. Only in Cleveland can you be the first or second team in your division and not feel like you're there. Only in Cleveland. If this was any other team, they'd be fixing the issues. But Cleveland just has so damn many issues all the time. You don't know what to do with them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And it gets to the point where when I watch a game like I did last night, I'm pretty critical of them. I do that with all football games anymore. I watch what they do. I watch how they act. I watch the how psyched they are to get into the game and get it over with and whatever. I watch I can't think of the word I want. I watch how the luck is running. You know, if they're making plays, if they've got the pendulum on their side, whatever.
Momentum.
The momentum, yeah.
Okay.
That the momentum's on their side, and Cleveland clearly had it the first half. They scored 24 points or 17 points.
No, it was 24.
It was 17. The offense was 17.
Oh yeah, then the defense was.
Then the defense that strip and
yeah.
a run by Myles Garrett, which Myles Garrett is probably one of the best players, not only at his position but in the league, and he's probably one of the most personable guys I've ever seen. But
I mean, other than when he's calling out his teammates, and then Baker
some of that,
denying the fact that he knows that Myles did it.
Some of that's BS anyway. But
yeah.
you know, it's only in Cleveland, and being that it's only in Cleveland, Cleveland needs to step up and take it to the next level if that's where they're wanting to go with it. But the way they played, the way that offense played last night in that second half was as bad as it was the game before. They were trying to give that game back to them. They didn't want to win that thing. And you know, if they would have lost, you would have heard people, they didn't have any fire. They didn't have any fire. They still don't. They had a week off.
Only in Cleveland do you have players' wives going after fans. Oh, it's not just Baker's wife.
And you know, this stuff is ridiculous.
It's the children. Like we were talking pre-show, the whole Jedrick Wills saying, you know, how about I go to your job and boo you? Sorry, I'm not making millions. Your money should let you block out the booing. Stop crying like a baby and actually act like a grown man.
Yeah.
Stop being butthurt about what, then, I mean, okay, not saying the fans are a nobody, but okay, maybe I am. But why care? Why should the athletes care what I think or what I'm doing as a fan or I as a general, what the fans are doing? Why do they care so much? You know, it could be a couple people, but that are booing, or a few, whatever.
Well,
Small. It could
if
be a
you
small majority.
if you take and change your attitude around and actually play like you're supposed to play and play like a playoff team that you're supposed to be, yeah, and your quarterback steps up and does what he's supposed to do and score in a second damn half, then you wouldn't be booed. They'd be praising you. There was one thing. There was a play yesterday. Did you happen to see this, where that punt returner got down to they punted it almost to the almost out of bounds, and
Yeah, JoJo Natson on the kickoff.
Natson, yeah. Did you see what he did? That was one smart move there.
Yeah.
He actually stuck his foot out of bounds. I saw him looking at it. He was like, "Where's the line? Where's the line?" And then when he stuck it out of bounds, he picked the ball up, and he must have known that they were going to have to do that way.
Oh yeah, because
and they brought it out to the 40-yard line. Oh, what a genius!
He knows that if he was out of bounds when the ball touched him on a kickoff, if the ball goes out of bounds, then they get the ball automatically as a legal procedure, and that's an automatic 40-yard line. Yep. The ball automatically gets sent to the 40-yard line for those listening who didn't know that.
That dude was actually, was probably one of the smartest people on that field yesterday. For him to actually, the forethought to do that was what was amazing.
And then you got...
and then you just happen into it.
What's his face? Felton fumbling twice. That dude needs to be benched or something.
Well,
I don't know.
He's young, and that's the thing with him. He needs a excuse me. He needs a coach that's gonna take and straighten him out. There's some stuff that he does that just drives me nuts when you watch him.
Yeah.
He takes and he'll take and pause and then take a step back and then start running at it again. Mm-hmm. And there's no way. There's no way that should.
They lost their running backs. When they lost their running backs coach to health issues, I don't think it was COVID, but they lost the running back coach to health issues. Ever since then, things have gone downhill for all the running backs.
That's what they need to do. There needs to be a coaching change there or something to get that kid back on track. He's not being, for some reason, he's being coached to play like he did in high school. I could see that being a high school move. But
I just think he doesn't have confidence.
When you got 10 guys there that are 250 pounds or more, and you got a hole for 1 second that's going to clog up in a half a second later, you don't have time to take a step back and then run at it again. I saw Chubb do that last night once, and I thought, what the heck's he trying to prove? When he actually had seen a hole there and was trying to get through it. But that's how that kid works. If you ever watch Chubb, he's an amazing runner.
Oh yeah.
He takes when he goes to that line, when he senses a hole there, he goes right at it.
But you gotta remember, Felton was a 5th or 6th round pick. There's a reason. That he was a 5th or 6th round pick.
Yeah.
He wasn't just there to be there. He has the talent deficiencies where, comparing him to Nick Chubb, that's just never going to be a thing. He's a good, like, guy for screen passes and stuff, but to have him out of the backfield or receiving punts, which I thought was a good idea because he's fast, that's not a good idea because apparently when he gets a little sun in his eyes, he can't do anything.
What's that old? There's an old song that Dean Martin used to do. When the moon hits your eyes like
That's
a
amore.
big pizza pie, that's
That's
amore.
amore.
I'm
Yes,
surprised
that's one of my favorite songs, so I know.
I'm surprised you knew that song.
When the stars make you drool just like a pasta fazool, that's amore. Yes, there's about 3 or 4 Dean Martin songs I could quote. So yes, I know that song.
For me, it was always Sinatra.
Yeah.
Sinatra's "My Way" was probably one of my favorite tunes ever. I did it my way.
I like High Hopes by Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
That he did with the kids.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. But the Browns need help. I don't understand why Stefanski needs to stop being so conservative. Like, especially in the fourth quarter, I feel like he forgets how to coach. And
this is where you got an offensive coordinator there that's supposed to stand there and help, and he's not letting it. And then, why is it that every Browns coach we get does the same crap? You had that with
Mr. Grambling State.
You had that with
Jackson.
Freddie. You had that with Jackson.
Mm.
And there are so many jobs that need to be done when you're on a football field like that. You can't pay attention to every job. And all these coaches try to do that because they like being able to run the plays.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're supposed to be the CEO. Does the CEO of a company usually get hands-on day-to-day? No, not usually. I could be wrong, and correct me if I am. But last time I checked, the CEO usually lets the people in charge below him do their job unless he has to clean something up.
Do you think Harbaugh from the Ravens was doing that last night? You can bet those are coming from up top. I don't know. The other thing I want to talk about with that
Harbaugh, Tomlin, no, they give it up. They give up their play calling duties to guys.
The other thing I do want to talk about that game was somebody on one of the sports channels was saying, well, the fact that Jackson was out, with a foot injury and got knocked out of the game, that would have been a whole different game if he was in there. Don't get me started there. That might have been a whole different game, and it might have been a lot worse for Baltimore. Because they didn't really come on until out of their quarterback came in. And
I know.
I thought then I had a feeling when Cleveland scored the 17, I thought this isn't going to last this way. And they once they got the first field goal, I knew it was only a matter of time before we were in the end zone again. But unfortunately, Cleveland didn't see it that way. And the thing, like I said, bothers me is why is it always Cleveland? Why is it that a Cleveland sports fan can never be happy? We'd be 5 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever, when we had 0-31 or 1-31.
Yeah.
We would have been the happiest fans in the world had we been where we are now.
Hey, people were having parades for 1-31.
Yeah,
and
they
0-16.
paraded around the stadium for crying out
Well,
loud.
which, for some reason, one of the local radio hosts has the guy who planned that whole event out. They had he has that guy on every Monday as a guest to talk about the Browns game.
Yeah.
I'm like, why have that guy, that clown?
Well, that's like having Pumpkinhead there.
Yeah.
Pumpkinhead's nothing. He's what one would consider a drum beater, like like the guy for the Indians. He's a.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's all about the publicity. I mean,
you can't blame him.
Yeah, but the thing is, he gets on TV every home game. He actually runs a whole tailgate party that one of the local radio stations broadcasts from.
Yeah.
On West 6th Street up in Cleveland. So he's like the sponsor of it. But every town has those type of fans, but of course,
you never see it anywhere else. You never see it anywhere else. But if it's a Browns, man, you can bet if it's bad press. But there again, Eric, it's like I've said before, Cleveland and Ohio sports teams get no respect by the media.
Mm-hmm.
None. Zero. Zip. Nada.
I mean, we used to have a couple of different super fans. Pumpkinhead. Then, I don't know if you remember the Bone Lady.
Oh, yeah. I remember her.
She's kind of disappeared the last few years. But,
you know, the one I always wondered whatever happened to as far as on the baseball side of things. Remember Morgana?
No.
She was I don't know how else to put this, but she was this big bosomed woman that used to run around, and all of a sudden, if she was at your game, she'd almost all of a sudden run out onto the field and kiss one of the players, and then run back with them, bounce it all over the place.
Oh, okay, yeah, that would make sense.
But I always wondered what happened to her. I haven't seen her probably in about 10 years. Probably got too big for her to bounce.
Yeah. 2 years like in, literally.
But there again, we digress.
Yeah. But, I don't know. With the Browns, like, again, I've said this and it's beating a dead horse, but Baker's not the guy.
And
he's more drama. He's more drama than he's worth.
I think this season has proved that to me too.
And I would see what we can do to see if we could get Russell Wilson for a couple years.
You're not the only one that said that. I've heard that at least twice before, and one of the times was on the other show.
Yeah, I was gonna say somebody said that on the other show.
And another comment was we should bring Aaron Rodgers over here.
Oh yeah, that's been talked about for a while, but that's never gonna happen.
You don't want somebody that's on the past the crescendo of their career. You want somebody that's probably in about the middle of it. But as far as the Baker Mayfield thing, I'm not so sure he's the one. I've said this before. I'm not so sure he's the one that we want to keep to run the team in the next 5 years, because I don't think by the fifth year he's going to be so beat up he ain't going to know his name anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's time to move on. The problem is they're not good enough to be at the top of the draft.
Right now, as it sits, though, you've got 2 second-string quarterbacks running your team. and
True.
that's just wrong. We as fans expect more than that. And as far as Baker Mayfield's um, commercials and stuff like that, though, they're funny, but I think it's a distraction from the team.
Yeah, he might as well just go do commercials. I mean, and I think I said this on the other show, kind of as a sidebar, and I don't know if anybody heard me say this, but Baker Mayfield is Johnny Manziel without the alcohol problems.
I don't know about that. At least Baker has been in the games.
Well, I
could
think
never depend on Manziel to be there.
Well, that if Manziel didn't have the alcohol problems, not that he would have been good, but I think he would have actually showed up if he wasn't, hungover half the time.
Yeah. I guess we shall see
Allegedly.
what we shall see.
Did you? I might have sent you an article. I don't know. Canadian Football League. Their division championships or their conference championships were last week, and there was actually a fight between a player and a fist fight between a player and fans because their rules are a lot different with fan engagement, during the game than the NFL. And also their rules. There's the Canadian Football League. I don't know if you've ever watched a Canadian football game.
I never, to be honest, serious about it, I never have.
I have, because I had went up to the casino in Windsor a few years ago on Christmas, and their championship game was going on. Their fields are wider. Their goalposts are at the front of the end zone instead of the back. I don't understand. Their scoring, I would have to look it up and pull it up, but their scoring is really weird. Like, there's ways that they could score. They could have 1-point scores other than extra points. They could get 2 points more than just 2-point conversions. It's just weird. And it's just a bunch of overrated players who don't really have talent and suck. I think that's why they need to bring back some of the other leagues here, like the XFL, like they're doing, and the USFL, which they're doing. I wish Northeast Ohio would get a team.
Yeah, I wish Cleveland would get a team.
Mm-hmm. Well, Cleveland or Canton.
Yeah, that would be an idea.
Or even Massillon, because they could play at the high school stadium. The high school stadium down in Massillon Tiger Stadium, I think it can hold like 3,000 to 5,000 fans.
And that'd probably be enough for that.
Yeah, for something like that. But Ohio needs another football team. Even if it's not a NFL team, Ohio can definitely handle another football team, especially the fact that they're not going to be going up against the NFL. They're going to be going on an off season, and then that would fill the gap between the NFL, the little bit the NFL offseason has, let there still be football, even if there's not, NFL, which I don't know if people would watch the other leagues. A ton of people would because, it's not the NFL. I don't think the ratings for arena football or any other leagues were that great because people thought the quality was kind of garbage. But I think if they could get good quality and good coaches, because some of these leagues had really good coaches.
Yeah.
Like Bob Stoops. I can't think of. There was a lot of like high profile former college level coaches that were in these leagues, and even former failed NFL coaches that did pretty well in these leagues. But people just didn't watch them because they're like, well, it's not the NFL,
Yeah. To cover a couple more things, and then I think we ought to head into the picks for this week. Cavs wise, they are on fire.
Very impressive.
They are on fire.
That Mowgli and Jared Allen, those guys, teaming them up was the best thing ever for the Cavs.
I don't think that I've seen them this good since LeBron was here. I think we're doing. They're nowhere to go but up.
It's time for, people to be paying more attention to the Cavs. People, even me. But the problem is when I watch, they suck. So the magic elixir for exactly the magic elixir for the Cavs is hope I don't watch.
All right, let's head into the picks for this week.
Okay.
Want to?
Yeah, let's do it.
The first up, and that's Thursday night's game, is the Chiefs versus the Chargers. Now, mind you, the Chiefs devastated the team they played last week, 48-9. I think they finally woke up.
Well, plus that team, which we'll get into a teensy bit when we talk about their game, they're in disarray after their coach got fired.
Yeah.
But to the Chiefs and Chargers, I think it'll be close, but I think the Chargers have it.
I'll take the Chiefs. I'll take the Chiefs after that last game. They're going to be on. They're going to be up. So I'll take the Chiefs in that one. And then we have Saturday, which is Vegas Raiders at Cleveland.
Which, as I was talking, I get it's a West Coast team in that whole theory, but I think they're just in disarray because of what happened earlier this season, and I think their GM is kind of a joke, too. But I think Cleveland.
I will tell you that I've watched this game a long time. Cleveland always has trouble with West Coast teams, and they Vegas
had trouble with them last year. But I think
the last time they played Vegas, they got beat.
Well, that's true. But stability, at least I think the loss of Gruden has affected them a lot.
I think that did too. But I think what we're going to have to do, what we're going to watch this week is they've got a couple of key players for the Browns that ain't going to be here. They've already said Hunt's not going to be able to play because of his leg or his foot.
Oh.
So, it just depends on what Cleveland you get.
Well, if Newsom could be out of the protocol, the concussion protocol.
Yeah, that would be a replacement. I think that might do it.
I think that would definitely bolster the defensive backfield, which needs help. Because no offense, Greedy Williams, he's not that good.
All right, I will take. I'll take the lead here, and I'll take the Browns.
Same. Long-winded, you know, reason why, but yeah, I take the Browns.
All right, next up is Cowboys at New York.
Cowboys, definitely.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that one. They're 11-point favorites as it is now, anyway. All right, Houston Texans at the Jaguars. Boy, that's actually gonna be a fairly tight
Houston,
game.
because of the disarray that Jacksonville is in, as we talked about earlier.
They're calling it a pick. That means it's even.
I don't see how that's possible.
The odds itself has the Jaguars at -3 with the 10. It's a toss. Anyway, Titans at the Steelers. Never mind.
Oh.
We're talking about a top feeder from the bottom feeder.
I just think, and it's not my hate for Pittsburgh, but I think they're falling apart too.
Yep, I kind of believe that.
You know, the whole.
And at the end of that Titans game, this is what it's going to be.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Pittsburgh.
I love that effect.
I know. I'm surprised you didn't get the blend in with the whole Pittsburgh sucks thing too.
Oh, you want that too?
Yeah. Because you usually play them back to back. Come on, get on top of that.
I've been varying it up a little bit. Anyway, I'll take the Titans on that one.
Okay.
They're only favored by 2. You gotta be kidding me. 21-20. Actually, Steelers are favored 21-20. It's not gonna happen that way. I'll take the Titans. I don't think that's gonna be anywhere close to right. And then we have the Cardinals at Detroit.
Ooh, Cardinals by a landslide.
Yeah, I kind of think so too. That'll be Cardinals
It's still
game.
Detroit.
Panthers at Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of think Buffalo is they'll put a whooping on whoever they're gonna get.
Yeah, I think
They're going to be ticked off because they've lost 2 games, and this is going to be a do or die game for them.
And I don't know who's the quarterback for Carolina. If Darnold's back or if it's Newton.
Yeah.
Or somebody else, because they might have actually cut Cam Newton. I don't know, but it's so up in the air with them and their quarterback that I'm not sure.
Well, I'll take the Bills.
Yeah, same.
All right, New York at Miami.
Ooh. Another bad dollars. Miami.
Yeah, I'll take Miami too. And the Washington football team at the Eagles.
Eagles.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that too. And we have the Bengals at Denver.
Ooh, Bengals.
They're calling that a close game too.
I don't understand.
They've got the Broncos favored by 1. I think it's a 1.5 game.
How? They don't have a quarterback. And that's kind of important in this game.
Well, the Broncos are hot and cold quite a bit. I think they're like 6 and 7 or something like that. Wait,
yeah. I think they're almost equivalent to the Browns.
So I'll take I gotta take the Bengals there, even though they're -1. Next up is the Falcons, Atlanta Falcons at San Francisco.
Okay, sorry. San Fran.
Yeah, I think San Francisco is going to take that too. And then Green Bay at Baltimore. I think Baltimore's going to be mad and they're going to put a whipping on somebody.
I think Green Bay. To my friend who's listening, yes, I do sing sometimes just for special effects, and that's my Christmas gift. Because singing that's Amore earlier. Yes, that's my Christmas gift to everybody listening.
All right, so you're taking
Yes.
Packers?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'll take the Packers on that one too. Seattle Seahawks at Los Angeles.
Seattle.
I'm going to take the Rams. I got a feeling about that game. New Orleans at Tampa. That's easy.
Yeah, Tampa.
Yep. Especially with the Saints. The Saints just can't get it together yet. Minnesota at the Bears.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
The Bears.
Yeah. I could see that one going either way, but I'll take the Vikings. And I think that's it. That was a Monday night game. So that's it for this week. I will guess about the Thursday night game next week. But as it sits, I think we're in. I think Cleveland is probably going to be right up there with if they get this offense to wake up, I think we'll be all right. But they got to win out. They say they can lose one more game and still get into the playoffs. But I'd rather not take that chance. I'd like to see them win the division. And what it may come down to, if Cincinnati comes back alive, and Cleveland plays Cincinnati the last game, that could be for the division championship.
Yeah, I don't see them winning out. I think the Pittsburgh game will be, unfortunately, I hate Pittsburgh, but I think that'll be the one trip up that they have, and that'll keep them out of the playoffs. I hate saying that.
Who are you saying that? The Browns? No way.
Yeah.
No way.
I don't see them winning out.
You're dreaming, kid. You're dreaming.
Browns. Are you saying that they don't make the playoffs, or that they do?
Oh, they're going to make the. I'm not going to guarantee they're going to make the playoffs, but Pittsburgh ain't going to beat them in Cleveland. No way.
With Roethlisberger.
No.
What could be his last?
I respectfully agree to disagree.
I'm pretty sure they're at Heinz Field. I thought the first game was in Cleveland.
You may be right.
So.
No,
yeah.
I don't care. They're still not going to be. They're still not going to get beat.
Yeah, because the Halloween game was in Cleveland.
Yeah. I don't see Pittsburgh beating them. I really don't. Anyway, let's wrap this up because I got to get ready for my next round.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for listening. Quickly, as I do at the end of every show, tune in to Crooked River Radio for all the other shows. Also, tomorrow 7 to 8, with Jerry and World According to Elmer. Saturday from 11 to noon, if I could get it right, is Four Guys on Sports. with Sean, Nate, Gordon, and Pat. And
Radioactive.
Thank you, because I drawn a blank on the name of that show. You know, you would think I would remember because I am a part of that show. Yeah. I barely remember my name sometimes.
Yeah, wait till you get my age.
I am looking forward to that.
But Radioactive, this week will probably be a rather interesting show, depending on what topics we come up with. Last night's was actually pretty good. We talked about conspiracies and with the COVID, and really, by the time things stretched out, we didn't have time to get through the fourth subject. There will be a subject next week as far as radioactive goes. It will be on the Fire Stick, and what I'm thinking about doing is putting together I've already done some research on this. I want to put together a video that actually shows people the difference between cabling and the difference between the VPNs of two different places. I'm not gonna name the places right off, but there's two really popular VPNs that I'm going to put up against each other, and we'll show you what the differences are. I've got a piece of equipment coming tomorrow that will allow me to hook the Fire Stick up to the Ethernet. And what I'm going to do is I'll probably film this or video it and show you the difference between the VPNs with Ethernet and then the VPNs without, and then without the VPN altogether. Interesting stuff. I've learned a lot about this in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, that does. I actually can't wait to see that. Because...
And if you see any kind of if you decide you're going to get a Fire Stick, or you have one, you may want to watch the show, because I'm going to have some pretty interesting stuff on it.
Also, real quick before we completely wrap up, I want, like I've done the last 2 days that I've done shows. If you get a chance, please go back to last week's Hashtags in Football. We went off traditional show and we talked cryptocurrency. Reason I'm saying go back, if you want to get into cryptocurrency, I would suggest listen back to that show, because there's a lot of good information that was given on that show that can really help you.
Right. All right, Eric, we will see you and talk to you probably during the week sometime.
Okay, sounds good.
Everybody else have a great week, and we'll see you tomorrow night for the World Recording Elmer. Night, y'all.
Okay.